Today, let's get into Jimin being upset over Jin and how he must be dealing with the situation right now. We also have theories and rumors that Jin is being treated poorly at the camp. And then we have RM talking about his possible regrets joining a boy band and what that means. So, hey dumplings, it's Dave Desai. Hater or not, make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on. Grab your dumplings, hey spilling mug merch, and let's go. RM is the most well-spoken and articulate person that I can honestly say are those things. This is a huge talent and not many people can do that at all. Let me explain. I think it's easy to be articulate in a setting where maybe I am in right now, where I have my notes on my computer, I'm not nervous, and there's no one here with me right now. And if there's any issues with what I say, I can just edit it out. However, in a setting where you're going to another TV station and you don't have any control over what the final product looks like, because Hybe is not going to be the one editing the segment, and then you don't have control over how you're going to edit your response, it becomes very important to make sure your thoughts are clear, concise, cannot be taken out of context in a bad way, and relatable to people so they know where you're coming from. Of course, RM's team is usually sent over a pre-interview list of questions that the host will ask RM, and RM can rehearse how he will say those answers. But when you're up and you're filming, you likely won't say word for word what you rehearsed, but instead what feels natural at that moment. And sometimes that can come out not articulate. But RM's words are very clear, and that is a talent. RM opens up about his feelings on the show The Encyclopedia of Useless Human Knowledge previously to talk about his inspiration with the album and his insecurities that he is not good enough. And I think we can all relate to a little imposter syndrome. He also recently did an interview with a fashion brand, I think, called Hypebeast. RM talked about something that might seem a little shocking, which is his somewhat unsure feelings about joining a boy band. This was a long time ago. This, of course, would make RM look bad because he is the leader, and it would appear like he is ungrateful or doesn't like BTS members. However, that is not true. RM is very aware that he would not be where he is now if it wasn't for the armies supporting him and BTS. And he would not be here if it wasn't for the pop music that BTS makes. In art, there's pop art, which conforms to what mass audiences like, which I want to say there's nothing wrong with this. And then there's more niche and likely stuff that you like but other people of popular culture do not like. Every artist gets to that point where they either go from underground to mainstream, and the only way to get into mainstream is to make what pop culture likes. Or they remain underground, make a moderate amount of money, and just kind of have their career flatline. These are the artists that are known as non-sellouts, and people call the ones who go mainstream a sellout. RM started his career with a more underground hip-hop type of music that was very niche at the time, and I think he was okay with remaining there. But he questioned if joining a boy band was the right move for his career, as BTS obviously doesn't represent RM's full self, just a small part of RM. Pop is very much a character and an exaggeration of one facet of a person. Pop albums typically follow a theme and stick to it, and there's a very recognizable brand associated with the artist during that artist's era, something that doesn't always exist in underground music. The reason being is that this is easier to sell. It's easier to look at an artist and say she's the sad breakup girl with the sad music, and if you resonate with that, you buy her stuff and know that every time you buy her, it's going to be sad breakup music, even though sometimes she could be happy, right? But that doesn't make it to the album. So this is the issue with RM in BTS as well. It doesn't show his full self, just an exaggerated portion of it. So when RM went to create Indigo, we can very much tell the album is not pop. It's not any specific genre. It's his full self that doesn't follow into a label in which pop typically shackles an artist to. RM also went on about how BTS was a struggle for him because when he looked up at traditional, maybe Western hip-hop artists, he felt like those artists were not going to respect him for being in a boy band. And people like Eminem may not listen to boy band pop, right? This feeling was further pushed by the idea that BTS at the time was not well respected at all. They were a boy band, and so the older Korean audiences didn't respect them. Americans typically don't respect K-pop, so that audience was out the window. And then the audience in which typical K-pop boy bands would normally have were not respecting BTS because BTS came from a no-name small label at the time. I can only imagine the struggle RM felt being like, am I ever going to be respected as a hip-hop artist or rapper if I keep going down this path? Love this interview. He addressed really the main pain points about pop culture and being well known within a brand. This is no doubt something every single mainstream artist has struggled with when looking at a fork in the road deciding what to do with their career. And a lot of artists who have ultimately chosen to accept less fame to keep true to their act have dealt with. And others want to reach more people and be successful and go mainstream, and there's nothing wrong with that either. The struggle with K-pop versus Western artists is that in K-pop, the fandoms will shame an artist for remaining underground and use that to attack the artist. Your fave is unknown and not successful. And so BTS, in order to be respected, needed to be mainstream, while in Western culture, it's seen as cool and respected to be non-mainstream. Oh, you're like part of an underground cult and in the know to know a non-mainstream artist. I feel like the members are able to show more of their true self lately, and I am loving it, because these are all things seemingly they couldn't address before. One thing the members could never really talk about was their feeling towards the enlistment. While of course they are likely happy to serve their country, they are likely sad that this is something they have to do and put their career on halt. They have been pretty open about being scared to leave the spotlight for a short time. People were saying Jimin must have felt the same way as ARMYs were feeling the day Jin left, because he was taking these selfies. He changed his Weverse profile to Jin and then even left a comment to ask how Jin was doing. And it's funny because Jimin rarely posts on social media, so obviously his posting is a sign that he misses Jin. But no fear here. BTS and Jin probably haven't really seen each other that much lately anyway, since they're all doing their own thing, and so they could still visit each other and go to the camp, and Jimin would be enlisting soon anyway. And I hope that all the members get put together. The government won't do that to BTS, right? They wouldn't separate all the members and put them in different camps. That's cruel. The internet exploded as we got an update from Jin, sort of. People were saying that this update was illegally shared and was not supposed to be. This is a photo that shows Jin in front of, I believe, the Korean flag and UN flag, I'm not sure. And he is gently smiling and it's all good. He is wearing his name tag and he is officially in his military uniform. Kind of looks like an edit. I've seen so many of these military edits, this doesn't even look real. But this photo was shared on online communities, and specifically the site in which you are able to contact Jin or any of your relatives and friends in the military. The site is called the ROK, Army Online Community, The Camp. Army Online Community is not referring to the fandom, but to the soldiers, because that was confusing. Since the photo was posted in this community, people thought it was the fandom reposting photos that were illegally shared by fellow stalkers or supposed stalker BTS armies. But no, it's the army referring to soldiers, meaning this community is just sharing what's on the camp. People were saying that Jin's privacy was invaded because this photo was shared. That makes no sense to me. Jin posed for the photo, stood in front of the flags for the photo, someone took the photo and then posted it. At no point did Jin not realize a photo was being taken. Like, if Jin saw this photo, do you think he'd be shocked? Who took this? A stalker? This isn't like a shower pic or something. This photo will likely be on his ID. It was bound to go online and go viral at some point. Others were saying that it wasn't posted officially by Hybe or Jin because Jin is enlisting and not posting pictures. I don't know how else to say this or say it nicely, but obviously when Jin went to enlist, all official content and posts were going to be posted by the military, not Hybe. Jin, currently in the military, is not abiding by his Hybe contract, and thus all photos have to be released by Hybe. He is following a new contract, which is the government's one. That's like saying anything that the military wants Jin to do, they have to run it by Hybe. So normally if Jin wants to travel, he has to let Hybe know. So the government has to send out a notice to Hybe every time they want to ship Jin somewhere else. No, that's not what they do. Jin is being treated fine, and you literally do not have to worry about stalker content or anything like that. These people around Jin are literally government officials, and they have dealt with and worked with celebrities before. They know how to keep it professional, and my personal opinion is that these photos are fine. They do this apparently with every military trainee. If these fans are upset, then get upset at poor 19-year-old Kim over there that got his photo released too. But they're not. They're only upset at Jin getting leaked. It is so weird how the fandom often looks for things to be upset about. It's so easy to just be upset as opposed to actually looking into things. Let me know what you think. Make sure you check out my Patreon for more videos, link down below. Thanks for this lovely comment right here. Love you. Bye.